fire department personnel to keep all the present fire departments open. Is that correct?
We need about, you can roughly say that for every fire truck that you have, as a minimum you could have is 3. So
Talking about how many personnel are going to take to keep all the fire departments that we have open at present?
3 or the 5?
5.
The 5 stations?
Yeah.
I
Yes.
believe that we would have to maintain the same people that we had before, and I believe that was 89.
Well, the reason I'm holding this meeting is that we need to have some discussions on adequate levels. I don't feel that with the amount of taxes that our residents pay, that the level of health and safety is not adequate. And I feel that we need to find levels that are adequate. It's our job, as the charter states, it's our job to pass these ordinances. We need to have some.
Sure. Councilman Neely was going to go next.
I just want to ask a question. So what are you talking about, a mandatory minimum level
Yes,
of...
finding a minimum that they
Okay.
can't go below per capita.
But, you know, my general concern with this is this. If we don't have the money to pay for them right now, if we put that in place, how are we going to be able to
We
pay for them
have to
then?
find a way to pay for these things. I'm just going to say it. One of the things that was discussed at the Crime Watch meeting that I was at last Thursday was a millage. Now, some of the councilmen I know have problems with millages because the older people that have set salaries cannot, have trouble paying their taxes. I think that if we got creative, just go after income taxes, because the elderly don't pay income taxes. We might be able to pay for this. But one point I want to make, we just got this piece of paper stating that, I'm going to read it. I want to do it right. When our insurance rates go up because of lack of safety, this will be another form of tax. So there's a choice how we want to pay for this. Pay for it with a millage, or pay for it with rate hikes, insurance rate hikes, and it will happen. We've already got this, so we can choose. Now, if we choose to do it by rate hikes, we're going to lose health and safety anyway. We just won't have, they're going to cut it anyway, and we'll still have to pay the rate hikes. So, I'm just saying, we need to.
Councilman Neely and then Councilman
Yeah,
Warren.
well, I believe Councilman Sargent is saying is that we have a standard of minimums as it relates to public safety, as it relates to fire and police. The standard of minimums, like much throughout the country, many municipalities throughout the country have a standard of minimums to maintain a certain level of stability in their community. As Councilman Wayhill asked the mayor, could there be pending more layoffs? And he said the answer was yes. There could be more pending layoffs. Now, we know that we just lost 46 police officers and we lost 23 firefighters. But a standard of minimum is just that. It's a standard of a minimum, something that we won't go below. Now, some of the national averages that throughout the country is like maybe 1.2 or 1.3 police officers per 1,000 in a community of this size. And if you quantify it, if we look at a community of city of Flint, and if we come around 100,000, I think that gives us about maybe 123 officers. And Chief, where are we at now? 147. So therefore, it won't be any additional cost, but it puts a floor to where we cannot go below. As it relates to public safety, we put a stop guard there. And as it relates to firefighters, maybe it might be 1.8, 1.5, somewhere in that area, which would give us maybe, I'm sorry, 0.8 or somewhere in that area, which would give us maybe somewhere in the area of between 75 and 80 firefighters. And that just establishes a floor so your public safety levels will not decrease to a point to where it goes down so far. And as Councilman Sargent and other people have heard from constituents about their insurance rates going up. Now, we have there's a Michigan standard of insurance rates, and the city of Flint right now currently pays about 30 to 33% higher than the out-county areas for insurance. So what we don't want to do is make it more expensive to live inside the city of Flint, where it's cheaper to live in the Out County area. Now, if our insurance rate goes up, and some people have been experiencing that now, we might as well look at setting a standard so we can look at where the floor is, so therefore we can build on that with additional revenue streams. And I believe what Councilman Sargent was saying about additional millage, I'm not in support of millages because millages are tied into property taxes. And we know that senior citizens and people who don't have the ability to generate any additional income is tied into property taxes. And I believe that people are overassessed as it is right now, currently. But if we change maybe our city income tax level, where we pay 1% now, maybe if we change it to 1.5, and then the people who work and then live in the Out County area, their contribution will go up to 0.75 because of a formula from the state, and that's on the state level. That has to operate on the state level, that we can generate additional revenue to support public safety. Now, those who would be assessed that particular tax, they have the better ability to absorb that hit because they are working, because it's tied into income. And so when you tie it into income, you tie it into where the property values are not overassessed. You tie it into income, and yeah, the formula is 2 to 1. It's a state formula. Whatever the people who work and live inside the city of Flint will pay 1% Flint income tax. Those who work inside the city of Flint who live in the Out County area or some other place, they pay 0.5%. So if we raise it to 1.5, the Out County people will raise it to 1.75, and that generates some additional income. And so therefore, the people who work and benefit from working in this municipality will have to contribute. And so we go after a larger pool. And as income goes up, that tax base goes right along with it. And then we can put that into a dedicated revenue stream to support public safety. As we have a floor that it can't go below, we have some additional revenue to generate it. And Sargentson, he called me and we talked about it, and he came up with these very good ideas, and he wanted to bring it to the body so we can have a dialogue about how to generate additional revenue streams. And I know it's going to be a lot of dialogue, but we got to stop talking about what we can't do and what we can do for the residents of the city of Flint. Because right now, as insurance companies are ordering their new jacuzzis and their new Bentleys because of the rates of the city of Flint are going up, we have a duty, because we know the low to moderate income families reside in the city. And as you go down the poverty corridor, as you go through North Saginaw, all the way into Mount Morris Township, those are the people who are heavily impacted by the public safety cuts and by this trash pickup. So, and the charter mandates, and we all swore, affirmed, and took an oath to uphold their charter. And that charter says from time to time, we can enact ordinances for the health and safety of the residents. And this is a floor, this is a standard of a minimum. So it won't be an additional, Councilman Nolan, as you asked where we get the money from, it wouldn't be initially no additional cost, but to make sure that the administration, in their cutting frenzy, they won't come back to public safety and cut below that floor. And I think, is that close, Mr. Sargent?
That's right on, right there.
I just got a follow-up question with that. And I think that's a great idea. As the population drops in the city, then is that floor adjusted based on the formula?
It was based on a formula per capita for each resident every year they go to 2010 census. We know the results for the 2010 census will not be in until the latter part of 2011 or early part of 2012. And then that formula will stay intact as a city ordinance. And you know, ordinances are living organisms that we can change as a body as it becomes, but we need to make sure that it's a standard set for this community, because now we need to have a firm foothold for people to look at. Because if we go back